Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Edmund, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Galley's here.
Good morning, everyone.
And Katie's
Good
here.
morning.
Morning.
Morning. Yeah, it's not switching right away.
Yeah, don't speak too hard, then it filters you out.
Oh, GG. Oh, well. You don't need to see my
Anyway.
face. Oh, there I am.
Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So what happened this week?
Okay, catch me up on Twitter. I've seen a ton of stuff exploding online. Like a lot of people leaving, a lot of people being fired, people getting locked out of buildings. Lay it down.
Well, tell us.
I think only Nick is actually following this.
Say what?
What's going on with Twitter?
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy.
What do you mean nothing crazy?
Well, exactly. Every day I wake up and they're like, everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's over," and yet every day it just keeps working and operating. I mean, yeah. I mean, nothing really. Trump's count's back. He got reinstated last night. He hasn't used it yet. Nothing. It's amazing. You can fire 3/4 of the workforce and the platform still works. I guess it shows you the bloat in the usefulness of the people that work there.
I guess.
Will he use it though?
No, probably not. He already said he wasn't going to. But yeah, every day I wake up and it's the end of Twitter, and yet somehow as I use Twitter all day, it is still not the end of Twitter.
Well, I can say this much, and this is because I'm not a regular user, right? The most interesting thing is all those on Twitter claiming Twitter is dead.
Correct.
On Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
This has become a meme on its own. It's like come on, that's ridiculous.
Yep. So
yeah.
it's interesting to see the outrage. CBS has announced they're no longer using Twitter, so which is great. Means we won't have any nonsense from them on Twitter anymore.
That's part of the goal, right?
To
kick these organizations out of it. Keep it just the regular people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. It's not like CBS provided much useful information to Twitter anyway. So, and I'm just saying in general, like a news organization like that isn't going to provide much in terms of now their reporters and their anchors are the ones that I hope stay on Twitter because they actually are the ones that tweet things. It's the overall account is just rehashing essentially old news when it finally gets published and aired and stuff like that. So yeah, apparently it's over every single day, and every single day it's still there. So
it's being reborn.
It's not even being reborn. It's really not being anything. I mean, it's just it's the moral outrage and the moral whatever that people are trying to use to against Twitter is just it's so pathetic. I really don't understand why people are claiming the things that they're claiming.
I think a lot of these people, I mean, this is like the old days on FidoNet. And again, we used to call it flaming. People like to fight with other people when they don't know who they are. And here, there was a lot of material available that you could rant about. Now it's becoming, maybe it's slowing down all that ranting, and the people that were actually injecting that junk are not there anymore. And some of those that are there, they, I mean, come on, what is this? I'm used to get up and I'm used to see all that, and I could get back and lash back. I can't do it anymore. And that's why they think it's dying.
No, it's still that. That still is.
Nothing's
That is
changed. That's
still
why I don't
there. Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, that's
Nothing
the
has
thing.
changed except for the guy that owns it, and every day it's the end of the world and the end of the platform. And meanwhile, and again, take it for what it's worth, but according to Elon, and is he a bullshit artist? Maybe. I mean, that's
Oh
what
yeah.
Trump called him. But you know, he's claiming that the platform has got very high levels of activity, and I I tend to believe him. I'm sure it does. It's interesting. Now there's every day you wake up and there could be something new that's happening. A new account, for example, the Babylon Bees account got reinstated yesterday. Babylon Bee is a parody news outlet like The Onion. They got banned off Twitter 6 or 8 months ago because whatever reason. It's a satire news organization. Their account's back. That makes Twitter a better place. That makes Twitter a more interesting platform when a satire, when an known satire news organization is on the platform and not being banned because of terms of service or whatever. So I would assume that the user base is at all-time highs. I'm using it a lot more than I hadn't been in the past. There's more interesting. There's more stuff going on. People are talking about stuff. Elon's tweeting 17 times an hour.
Well, now each tweet actually is his business.
Correct. And it's very interesting to see. In the past that wasn't the case. I mean, Jack would tweet. He would tweet sometimes. But when but again, you're talking about a guy that was the CEO, but still had a board of directors and shareholders and all that other stuff. Now, I mean, it's literally what he decides goes. And some things will work great and some things won't. Like the Twitter
Actually,
Blue thing with the verified accounts. He thought it was a good idea. It wasn't. So what did he do? He removed it and he's going to rework it and bring it back.
That whole thing was so funny. Not for the companies, I guess, but like people going on and pretending to be these companies and saying things, and then their stocks just tanking. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I found that hysterical. Probably not to the people that lost billions and billions of dollars, but it's not like I got $1 billion, so who cares? I'm just gonna laugh about it.
I mean,
Oh,
that was, I agree. I laughed my heart out, but it was also part of the flex of why he did that in the first place, right? The moment you see, he proved that blue check mark means nothing,
Correct.
and
As it
people
never,
will still pay for it, right?
Yes.
And people will still pay for it. I think that was a fabulous move. But you said something that's really interesting. I think what's unique about Twitter right now compared to any other platform is this is the first time that an actual user of the platform owns the platform. Jack Dorsey, he never really used Twitter. Zuckerberg never really used Facebook, right? They built it. It was cool for other people, and they tried to make a business out of it, but they never were in it in order to use it. And I think this is probably what makes Twitter right now unique, because it's one of the largest networks that is actually owned by a user of it, right? Elon was known first and foremost as a user of Twitter. So maybe that's the what's going to be different about this platform.
Let me ask you this, Gal. Why do you think everybody's losing their minds over it? Because again, you're talking about a guy who, in most large companies, the people that are making the decisions don't use the platform, or at least don't use it as much as maybe they should. And a great example is the Twitter board of directors. Most of them had Twitter accounts that were inactive for years. These were the members that sat on the board of directors at Twitter, and they had essentially completely dormant, inactive Twitter accounts. They were the ones helping make decisions about the platform. So now that somebody uses it, is making the decisions, why is everybody freaking out?
hmm.
Well, it's not. I don't think anybody's stopping and thinking about it. But what's clear is, right? people in general. And the younger you are, I think it's more true than the older you get. But people hate change, right? And when change is coming and uncertainty is coming, and in some cases, your entire existence is somehow tied, and you identify with whatever you do on Twitter as much, they're scared that something's going to change and they're not going to have any control over.
Did you wait a second? Did you just
They
say
never had any
young
control.
people are don't like change more than old people? Because it's definitely the opposite.
Oh,
Older
Yes and
people.
no.
I like.
Yes and
I'm
no.
just in my experience, the older the person is, as soon as you change something, they're like, "What's this? This is blah 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 blah."
Can you stop
So
mocking
here's
Amnon,
the
Katie?
Yeah.
You're right. You're right that all people don't like changing what has been there for a long time. But a young person, when they identify with something, uh, something new, something brand new, and it goes and changed on them, not they are the cause of the change. It goes and change on them. The reaction is complete rage. There's no perspective. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the young generation lash out completely.
I
But
don't.
maybe I'm the old guy here, right? I
I
don't
don't
know.
see it as
For sure
an
I'm the old.
emotional reaction because of the change. I don't think that's accurate. What I'm seeing is um, fake news being filtered through, and people taking advantage of this chaoticness and posting fake stuff to get reactions. So a lot of trolls are posting things, and they're saying stuff like, "Oh, well, Twitter's gonna explode. All of your personal information is gonna be leaked," and then that goes viral, and then people that don't know the situation or that's all that they read, they're like, "Oh crap, is this for real?" And then they start asking questions, and then it's just a bunch of all these people taking advantage, and the average user or whatever is reading these headlines, these clickbait headlines of like these things that aren't true, and then that misinformation is being spread. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a ton of misinformation being spread.
I think some of it's being done maliciously and purposefully, though.
Oh, totally. I 1000% think that a lot of people want to see it Twitter burn, either like competitors or maybe I don't know that whatever reason behind people do anything online. But that's what I see. And then again, like the news organizations have the same problem or whatever. It's like they come out with an article. Is this a bad thing? And this is really bad thing. And people are like, yeah, it is a bad thing. And then they'll release a statement a few days ago. They're like, actually, it wasn't that bad after we looked into it. But nobody reads that. They read the big ah. So I
Yeah,
think
well,
that's what's
headlines
happening.
were never. Yeah,
But that's
headlines were never the content, right? So
yeah, but that's what Twitter is. Twitter is a headline. Like when you post a comment or you post something on Twitter, you're not posting an article, you're posting like one or two sentences, and they got to be quick and they got to be punctual with your information. So it basically is just like a headline, uh
I
like the content.
I thought at this point that some people can post the whole article.
Oh yeah, no, they can. But what I'm saying is the
well, it's
average
always linked, right?
No,
the
no, no,
that
no. I thought that some people were given permission to post longer, much longer.
Oh no,
A
no, that
little bit
never
longer,
happened.
maybe 300 characters
Oh,
or
okay.
so, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like
Okay.
not not thousands of words.
Yeah. And there's been studies that and then like I'm more familiar with videos than I am with actually reading content, but for videos, you literally have 3 seconds of attention span to get your point across. 3 seconds. The first 3 seconds and that's it. So when it comes to words, you probably have the first like 10 words to like entice your user or whatever. So if the first 10 words is some manic clickbait thingy, then that's the only thing that person downloads into their brain. And it makes it really easy for everybody to take advantage of it, and young and old. This is a person thing,
No, no,
not a
yeah,
generational thing, and
agreed.
that's what I'm finding.
Well, all right. Um, this is an interesting article. As layoffs spread across Silicon Valley, Google has stood out by not cutting employees so far.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, well, but as outside pressure builds on the company to improve the productivity of its worker, a new performance management system could help managers push out thousands of underperforming employees starting early next year. So they found a way how to do it, and that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Managers could also use the ratings to avoid paying them bonuses and stock grants. Under the new system, managers have been asked, not they've been asked, remember that, to categorize 6% of employees, or roughly 10,000 people, as low performers in terms of their impact on the business. So they're not laying off people, but they're telling their managers, we need to get rid of 6% of people.
That's
In
semantics because
I know.
that's 100% layoff. So I
Yeah.
that's exactly how a lot of people get laid off. Like when so the whoever's in charge of the budget, they're like, look, the company didn't make millions of dollars this quarter. We have to get rid of people, get rid of the ones that aren't producing as high a margin, and that's a layoff. Like whoever wrote that article is just uh,
No,
try.
no, what they're saying here, what the article is about, is that Google is not mentioning layoffs. They're doing it in a roundabout way.
Okay, well, at the end of the day, it's
That's the
still a
way I
layoff.
understand it.
Whatever term, doesn't matter what they come up with. If it's a group of people that are leaving, it's a layoff. If it's an individual that's a negative impact to the company or whatever, performance, whatever, that's like being fired. So if they're doing more than one big person or one person in like a group of people, that's layoffs. They just don't want to
Yeah,
use the buzzword layoff because then their
exactly.
stock would
Yeah,
probably tank or
that's the
whatever.
thing.
Yeah.
Their stock will tank
But
anyway
look at
for
this.
that period.
The new system, which Google's in May announced in broad terms, also reduces the percentage of employees that can score a high rating. I mean, it's like manipulating some kind of system within the company that is going to get rid of people
Yeah.
without saying, we're laying you off. No, I'm sorry, you are not performing.
Yep. I'm
It's
familiar with that.
it's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, but you were not one of them. I don't care what anybody was saying. I mean, you
Oh,
performed.
no, no, but, this is what's hard about a creative job working in the tech industry, that and this is an issue with employers, is that they try to judge their 50,000 employees all equally on the same scale, but we don't do the same thing, we shouldn't be measured the same. Yes, we should be measured on productivity, and yes, we should be measured by the general things, but when it comes to like how many times I'm going to like I'm not a software developer, right? So I shouldn't be held to the same exact like whatever they get judged on. It needs to have a separate kind of judging thing. Like and for my instance, it was like, okay, well, if I create a video and it engages this much interaction and then that leads to more business, then that's great. Like that should be what you be measured on if you're like a creative individual or whatever. I'm not smart enough to like think of whatever the terms. That's what the managers think of. But that's the problem with the tech industry that I've run into is that they're trying to judge everybody the same, but not everybody does the same thing to get qualified. But in their systems, they're like, oh well, we need like your chargeability numbers aren't good and blah
Mhm.
blah. And I'm like, but yeah, I'm working with internal sales though. So internally when we're trying to do employee engagement and like teaching new employees things, that's not chargeability, that's internal growth, which is equally as important. Like if the company comes out with a new thing and you want everybody to learn it, Maybe a video is the best way to do it, maybe not, whatever, but that is also important in a big business, which isn't graded on the same scale. So that I've run into stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh,
So that when they look at the numbers, they're like, "Oh, well, this employee is underperforming." But if you actually talk and like, actually, they've done a lot.
yep. Um, you were talking about fake information,
Fake
and
news.
yeah, well, there's also those deep fakes, right?
Oh
In
yeah.
video.
Oh yeah, those are
So
crazy.
Intel introduced Fake Catcher, which it says is the first real-time detector of deep fakes. That is synthetic media in which a person in an existing image or video is replaced with someone else's likeness. Intel claims the product has a 96% accuracy rate and works by analyzing the subtle blood flow in video pixels to return results in milliseconds.
That's cool.
Ike Demir,
Okay. So it just just to explain that claim.
uh,
For now, until the deep fakes will be able to fake that as
to
well,
fake that as well. Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
It's a what's it called? An arm race, right?
It's like every other race. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It says that the senior staff research scientists in Intel Labs designed Fake Catcher in collaboration with some Umar Sifki from State University of New York at Binghamton. The product uses Intel hardware and software, runs on a server, and interfaces through a web based platform. So it's called Fake Catcher. I don't know how anybody can use it. I didn't look into it, but it's interesting that
It would have been interesting if it would say that it's using Nvidia hardware. But I mean, it's just an ad, right? Basically, for something for some company to reach out and come in and say, "We want to pay, we want to use this." Uh,
Nvidia has been in really deep doo doo
yeah,
the last few
I mean,
months.
you can't ride the wave without the wave crashing, right?
Yeah, true,
So
true.
So now, yeah, they were on a high, and now they'll go down, and then they'll go up, hopefully for them. Uh, but it seems like whatever's going to happen right now, we are going to reap some benefits from it. At least I hope so.
Hopefully,
Right, the news article you sent me was about them. It
having
wasn't me. Yeah,
too much
too much stock
inventory.
right now
Yeah,
of they're stuck with too much stock, and their investors are worried.
yeah.
So
It says
that usually means that we're going to see very decent pricing on Nvidia hardware. At least I hope that what will happen, and I am more interested as a consumer than as an investor. So
it says
here's to
that
hoping.
Nvidia Corporation's financial results had a bit of surprise for investors, and not on the good side. Product inventories doubled to a record high as the chip company gears up for questionable holiday season. And now I should say that it's up to them to correct that. If they lower the prices down, way, way down, then they're going to have a very good season.
Well,
Okay?
they're gonna get rid of the inventory, but
Well,
they're still gonna make less than they predicted,
that's
right?
fine.
So for us, it's fine. For them, not.
Gaming, of course not, but it was good. So in
Yeah,
the big picture, it's going to be fine. It's just going to balance all that super high that they were on.
right. But let's remember that article
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit about gamers. It's
Wait a second.
or
It's
even crypto miners. It's all about the
the
investors,
investors. It
right?
says it.
Those who put
It's
money and
it's revenues. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Gaming revenue in the quarter fell 51%.
That's a dip.
Now it fell down to 1.57 billion.
That's
You know,
my that's what I say all the time, right?
yeah.
It's you're
And
gonna
then,
make a bit less, boohoo.
yeah,
Yeah,
Nvidia
Is
said
this
it is working with retail partners to help move the currently high channel inventories. I'm thinking that they have hundreds of thousands of cards and hardware that is just sitting in warehouses.
wait, I have a question. Is this the same company that was hard to work with and that other company said, I don't want to deal with you anymore?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and so now everybody's surprised and they're surprised that they have extra inventory.
Well,
I'm like, what? It's like what is that? You lay down in the bed you make or whatever?
yep. You made the bed, now lay in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's that's what I'm saying. It's not just that. It's a lot of things that when you take the little pieces and put them together, it's a big, deep, stinky doo doo,
Yeah.
and they're in it.
They laid the doo-doo and now they're
Yeah,
in the doo-doo.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, there was a lot of news the last few weeks about pirate sites and the like, and it says the Spanish police have dismantled a network of pirated streaming sites that illegally distributed content from 2,600 TV channels and 23,000 movies and series to roughly 500,000 users.
Dang.
Says the law enforcement action took place in a joint operation involving the Spanish police and Europol, resulting in the arrest of 4 operators in Malaga. Additionally, 95 resellers in Spain, Malta, Portugal, Cyprus, Greece, and the UK have been identified. The pirated TV network, and that's interesting. I learned something from this, and I know now how it works. The pirated TV network used numerous websites to advertise and promote subscription based streaming services, listing unlimited access to channels from different platforms. The live streams from these platforms were decoded with stolen or abused accounts and passwords and then rebroadcasted to the subscriber's video player or client. The resellers bought the subscription packages from the organization operators and resold them to thousands of people in their local countries to profit from the price difference. So, the way that I'm seeing this is if I was to run a pirate uh, site, I go and I pay for an account on Spectrum TV or to get Spectrum TV, to get
Right.
Hulu. You know, you pay the monthly rate. So what? And then you take it and you decode it, you record it on your end, and you are streaming it.
It's kind of smart.
It's smart, but it's diabolical.
Well,
What can the originators do about it? I mean, I remember in the early
Oh,
days.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
They can do something very easily.
Okay.
They can start providing
Oh,
the
okay.
same
Yeah.
content in that
Yeah.
same area
Yeah.
on the cheap.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not exaggerating. I think it'll cost less than the lawyers.
Always.
Right. That's what I don't get, right? It's all about profit.
I remember
But
the
the,
er,
yeah, go ahead.
the early days of dial-up and spam. you couldn't, you had to have an account in order to spam anybody. I mean, today you have to do the same thing, but you get compromised machines to do it through. I remember that every customer that applied for an account on Delta Force, I would personally talk to them. And I was trying to find out, I mean, especially if they wanted to have a shell account where they can build stuff. And many of them that were from far away that they had to pay, I knew they had to pay long distance because back then, again, long distance was expensive. I said, no, that something doesn't sound right because that's what they would do. They go, they get an account, they'll, even if they use it only for one night and the next day I would ban them and disconnect it, they accomplish something. And it was a constant tug of war. I mean, you had to make sure that this is illegitimate. I think we had one that did that, and that's what I learned from it, and that was it. So that they're doing here the same thing. They're getting an account, legitimate account, but what they do with it is illegitimate,
Yeah, I mean,
and that's the
I
thing.
mean, that's no big mystery, that part.
Well, I didn't.
Uh,
I'm not into it, so I was not aware of it. But when I read it, I said, "Wow, yeah,
Even the legitimate companies. Do you remember? There was a New York-based company that tried to provide time shifting, over the air broadcasts through
yeah,
through a web-based account,
yeah,
right? And they had an antenna, a small antenna
right,
per user.
yeah,
Uh, that's the same idea. They just tried doing it legitimate, right? And got shut down.
yeah," and
So
they
it's something
claim,
like that, right? It's all about what you can
Lowcast was
get
the name
away
of
with.
that company,
yeah,
by the way.
that's it, low
Yeah.
cast,
Okay.
yeah,
So that right, that's uh, it's all it's all of what can you get away with, right?
sure,
That's basically
and
it.
make money.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's amazing, and you're right, Gal. The way to stop it is provide the service and provide
I
it
mean,
so
there we have one very, very successful model right now. And if we look at the history of it, right, the evolution is pretty much the same with video, what happened with audio, right? MP3 comes out, Napster is invented. Uh, the first thing, the first gut reaction of the large companies was to sue. Uh, and I mean, it just created chaos and a lot of resentment for a while. I doubt they gained any of the losses that they claimed they had. And the only change that happened, right? The only thing that effectively changed and curbed music piracy are the streaming services,
mhm, the legitimate
right?
ones.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
legitimate, the
yeah,
Spotify's, right?
yeah,
The later on, right? Google and Apple and Amazon, they jumped on the bandwagon. That is the only thing that actually did any change. I remember, right, that uh, now is it perfect? Of course not. Some of the services they don't have everything, right? But when you're looking at what piracy usually covers, it's not about the niche, rare thing. It's about the mainstream, right? How, how do I get the mainstream in a way that I couldn't get it before?
mhm,
And that's what needs to change. TV and media, it needs to change to that. Now, for a while, right? Netflix, that's basically the gospel they brought, right? It's like this is the brand new way of doing things. It's just for now we're still in a bidding war on the attention of the user, and so the pirates are still, they can still make a lot of money because, right, because there's chaos.
Yeah.
Once things will settle down, I think in about, I think the process here will be a bit slower than music, but probably in about 10 years we won't talk about piracy this much because it'll shift. I think the market will shift, uh, just because these because we're dealing with these complex multinational networks of crooks that they need
Mhm.
to capture. Uh, I think the cost of trying to capture them, than the cost of just beating them at the legitimate game, right,
Mhm.
will prove to be more effective just to start actually getting money from the people who are willing to pay, right? Because those pirated networks, people are paying them in order to get the content. Then just step with the actual content and get the money.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know. I don't know if you remember. This is probably early 2000s, and I think it's still the case. Uh, Russian Russian media stores will get movies that are that have just been issued in the States to the cinemas. They would get something called R5 version in DVD stores, and that would be a 480p quality of the picture with decent stereo sound,
Mhm.
right? So low resolution, uh, uh, decent sound, just stereo, right? On the cheap, while it's doing its international run in cinemas. Uh, Even before the international run, back then, US would do the runs in national first and then international, right? And the reason they did that is because this is the only way they could have curbed, right, DVD piracy, physical media piracy.
Mhm.
Now we're entering completely digital, right? And so they'll need to figure out how to give you the actual content that you want for the price that you're willing to pay instead of going to the pirate.
Yeah, and I was I rem I remember in the early days of the show, before we went to on the internet with video, we were doing the show on the radio. Radio stations, hey, I can't remember the name of Nick, help me here.
ASCAP and BMI.
ASCAP and BMI.
Yeah.
So you can say, okay, yeah, I want to use this as the theme.
They're
When we move,
as ASCAP and BMI are music licensing
right,
entities. They hold most of the licenses for music.
right. So when we went on the internet, we left the radio station. I wanted to be legitimate. I didn't want to do anything that's not legitimate. So I actually got in touch with ASCAP and BMI, and I said, "Here's the situation. I want to be able to play a piece of music about 30 seconds before we start the show. I don't mind paying somebody for it." Back then, I mean, this is even no, it's after Napster, but it's before there were other avenues. They said you have to pay the full price, which is 1,000.
Mhm.
And I said, but look, I'm not going to be playing music. I'm just going to play this one piece. and care. I would think that if they'd analyze, so what did I do? I got on that. There was the other service that had a bunch of music available. You had to pay.
LimeWire.
No, 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 no. Legitimate. It was selling
Oh,
it. It was big audio something. I can't remember, but you pay like I think it was 90 some dollars a year, and you can get music that it wasn't completely original, but you could get it and get a license for it and do whatever you want with it for as long as you want. And they said, even if you don't subscribe anymore, because apparently whoever wrote that piece of music got money from that dues that I paid. And that's what we're playing now in the intro. It's the same one that's been there for years and years. But I think that if ASCAP was saying, you know what, there's something new coming on the horizon. It's called podcasts, and people want to have, it's talk shows, and they want to have. Let's do something special for these people, so at least our
no. There's no
no,
margin. What are they
yeah,
going to do? How much would you have been willing to pay for the song?
I would have no problem paying $100 or $200 a year. No
Yeah, it's not
problem.
worth it
Well,
for them to for them to and then what and for them to administer and manage for
okay,
$100 a year makes absolutely no. That's why they don't charge. That's why they will only let you buy the whole license.
no, but yeah, I mean, so what did people start doing? They started pirating.
Well, they didn't necessarily pirate it. They just use it without a license.
Well, yeah, that's right. They use it without the license.
Yeah, or a lot of people have gone to some of these services that you've
Yeah,
described, and it's also
yeah,
been great for the. You know what? There's actually been great for the indie scene for people that are solo content creators. You know, they can make music and can sell it to these podcasts
mhm,
and license it to these shows. Not license. Most of the time, let them use it for free for exposure. I
yeah,
think for podcasts, it's actually been great. I struggle with this on my radio show. We don't. I don't use any licensed music because the show's turned into a podcast. We have the license for over the air, but
that's
they
right.
don't sell
Yeah,
a podcast license. So, and it's not that you just they don't sell it. It's not available. Um, so that's still a problem to this day.
yeah, yeah, and it's complex.
Correct, because it comes down to licensing and there's a lot of individuals that are all involved and lots of little tentacles that are doing all these various things. It is very complex.
Yeah. So all these that are providing that service right now, they they get it. They get their, I mean, 500, half a million customers. If a customer
Gall
is,
had the solution to this.
you do?
No, Gall did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
There's stuff
absolutely.
available for
But I
people
mean,
to buy at a decent price and they'll buy it. I mean, it's the reason iTunes, I mean, you don't have to go back that far. iTunes, 99 cents. It was a genius. They made a fortune. Instead of having to go out and buy it a 13 or $14 CD, you
yep,
could buy two songs for $2. It was great. It made Apple billions of dollars through
absolutely. Yeah.
the
Yes,
mid to early 2000s.
but CDs weren't $13. They were 6, I think.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
thing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't. Okay.
it's like no, the math didn't make sense back then. But yeah, you're right. Apple made millions of dollars on it because they were providing it. It still wasn't the right price, but they were providing a service, right? That people were craving at that point.
Yeah.
But remember, when they sold their first iPods, right? The statistics when you saw Apple's reporting on how much they're making from the music side and all that, and you compared it to the amount of space that was purchased by iPods, right? The amount of music that Apple covered was less than 2% of the actual space on the all of the iPods they sold. It was clear that it was used mostly for pirated content, right? People would download discographies of the web and they would play them on their iPods. They might have bought, I don't know, 5, 10 songs total, but eventually, right, from iTunes. But most of it didn't come from iTunes. But you're right, it was the first step, and we've gone through that step already with video and TV content. The thing is, because of past experiences, that's why I think this wave is going to take longer. It should be shorter. The lessons learned should have been, more effective. But because you have more large players playing in this pond, they're messing up the process for the eventual outcome. That's my feeling anyway, right? They're just too many large beasts pulling us, the consumers, from each side. Back then, there were just the few ones who took risks that actually paid out. We'll see. It'll happen. It's just a matter of time.
All right. Nick, are you ready for specials?
I am.
All right.
Before we get started, a little bit of a not a disclaimer, but just a little bit of information. Obviously, we're leading up to Thanksgiving, so a lot of what you see in the specials today is the best deal as it is right now. You could gamble and hope maybe you could find out a lower deal over the next week, or this might be the best sale. So just a little bit of a prerequisite out there before we get started.
All right. Let me just fix the width here. All right.
Ask me if I was ready. It doesn't look like
Yeah,
you're
no, I
ready.
was. Yeah, I realized that. I mean, from this, it looks like there's a lot of margin, but as I scroll down, I said, "Oh shoot, no, it's
Oh.
wider." So that's fine.
So here we go. We'll start off with a little bit of a SpongeBob meme this morning. This is the classic, and I know Katie's a big SpongeBob fan. This is the classic SpongeBob license meme, where the computer is a driver's license, and Patrick, or in this case, it's the villain says, "I am an admin, right?" Response is yes. And this file is admin locked. Yes, it is, and I have admin access. And if that's the case, then I can access this file. Yes, that makes sense to me. So let me access it. You need admin access. It is the old adage of yes, you have access, but
There's
you
a hole
don't
in the
have
bucket.
access.
The
Yeah, exactly. You got admin access, but you need admin access to access the file. All right, here we go. Let's get back on track here. Kind of an eclectic mix of things this week. A lot of deals, a lot of sales, but a lot of junk too. So just be advised as you're looking at sales over the next couple of weeks. Let's get it kicked off here over at Best Buy. Here is a Lenovo, and Amnon saw my laptop Friday, and he was commenting how what I don't remember what you said,
nice.
Amnon. He said, "Yeah, it's a slick looking laptop."
It looks like a little piece of board,
Yeah, and so I've been very happy with the Lenovo laptops. I'm gonna until somebody tells me otherwise, I'm gonna continue to promote them if I can. So here is the Lenovo IdeaPad 3i. This is a full size 15.6 inch. It's got a numpad built into it. It's running 8 GB of RAM. Unfortunately, it's an 11th gen Core i3, but still a very nice processor and a 256 GB solid state drive. Just $299 for this. You save $200 over at Best Buy for that. Pretty good price. A lot of great reviews on that computer. Next up, if you are looking for a cheap laptop and maybe you're looking for something to run Chrome OS or something to just use a web browser on, really hard to beat this price. Here's an Acer 11.6 inch. Cool thing about this, it's completely convertible, meaning that you can flip the screen completely on itself and use it as a tablet or have it in kind of a triangle or a pyramid shape, and you can use it as a tablet as well. This is running Chrome OS. It's got 4 GB of RAM and 32 GB of flash storage, which is about the norm for a laptop of this caliber. Normally normally $249. it's just $100. Now, I will note that this is both in store and online. I looked at the ones in Wilmington. Um, there's not any available, but looking up in your area, there's a couple left in Cary, Garner, and a couple of the Raleigh and Apex targets. So be advised of that. If you want one of these at this price, get your order in or go get it today because it'll likely be gone. That's available over at Target.
Nick,
Next up,
I
yeah,
have a short question about these.
sure.
Did you ever have one of these things that flips over completely?
I've used one. I've never owned one.
I'm assuming that when you flip it all the way, that the keyboard and everything is disabled.
Yeah, it has an
Yeah.
option to do that. You can choose whether you want it to or not, but
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Yes, yeah, you can tell. Yeah, yeah, because obviously if you're holding it from the
Yeah.
back, you don't want to be hitting keys.
Right.
So yeah, there's options for it to do or not do that. So you can check that out over at Target. Maybe you're working from home over the next couple of weeks for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you're looking for a monitor. Here's a pretty nice Dell monitor for a really, really great price. This is a Dell 24-inch SE2422H. So this is a 23.8-inch full HD monitor that supports AMD FreeSync and runs at 75 hertz. Now it is a 1080p display, so base resolution there. It's got HDMI and VGA. This is normally a $150 value. It's on sale for just $79. So you can pick up two of these essentially for the same price as one. But it is a limited time availability. So 56% of this has already been, 52% of these have already been claimed over at Dell's website. So if you're going to get in on this, make sure you act quick and you'll buy that directly from Dell Technology over on their website. Next up, a couple of lot of television sales, and this is for TVs. It's going to be what you can find in stock and in terms of smart TV and functionality, what you want. There's a million different deals. Just make sure to shop around and see where you can get the best thing there. Here's a Hisense. That's kind of a cheaper brand, predominantly sold at Best Buy and Target. This is on sale for, this is a 55-inch that's on sale for $239.99. It's a Roku TV. It's also 4K UHD. So a nice device here. In terms of ports, it's got 4 HDMI ports. One of them is an ARC. It's got traditional AV in for component or composite video, which is nice. So you can connect your maybe your VCR if you're still every once in a while want to view something there, or a old video game console. You can plug that in. It's got a couple of USB ports, 5 volts, so you could power a some sort of smart device if you wanted to hook up a Fire TV or something different besides the Roku. And it's got an Ethernet jack on it as well. So it's got a lot of great features for a cheaper television. $239.99. That is available over at Best Buy. If you buy one of these cheaper televisions, it might not have a smart TV functionality, which is not the end of the world because you can get the Roku sticks or Roku devices for really, really good prices. Here is the Roku streaming stick. So this is not a device that sits separately. This plugs directly into the HDMI port on the back of your television. This supports 4K HDR. It comes with a remote that's got voice control, and you can get this on sale. It's 50% off. It's normally $50. You can get it for $24.99. Some of the other Rokus are on sale as well, including the more hockey puck design that sits on your TV stand. So just, again, what you have space for, what you have room for, and what you're looking for. And that's available at multiple retailers over at, this one is over at Best Buy, however. Next up, there's a lot of Apple products on sale. This is not anything new. This is pretty typical for Black Friday, Thanksgiving, heading into the Christmas season. So here is the Apple AirPod Pro 2nd generation. This comes with the MagSafe charging case as well. These are normally $250. You can get them on sale for $199. That's as bad a good of a sale as you'll find on something like this. So save $50 on that. And that's available over at Best Buy. Plus, it comes with 4 free months of Apple Music. So if you're wanting to give Apple Music a try, you can do that with the purchase of those. Next up, AirTags. We've talked about these in a couple of news stories over the past month, probably 6 or 8 months or so. And here's a 4-pack, so you can dole them out to your friends or your family members, or suitcases and laptop bags and stuff like this. These are normally $25 a pop, so 4 of these would normally cost you $100. They're on sale for just $80 over at. This is actually at Amazon, so you're saving about $5 per AirTag. And according to the one of these plugins I have, this is the lowest price in 90 days that these have been. So if you're, again, looking for AirTags, this is probably as good as you're going to get in terms of an Apple product on device, or an Apple product on sale. Check that out over at Amazon. Next up, this is another in-stock, in-store item. And while they, again, are sold out here in Wilmington, checking up at Raleigh, there's the Hillsborough. Raleigh's got one, Raleigh Central, Six Forks, a whole bunch of the Raleigh Targets have this on sale. This is the Xbox Series S holiday console. And while it's not necessarily the best deal, you do save $50, which you'll find everywhere else. This is being sold for $249. Only over at Target do you get a $50 gift card in addition to it. So the device is the same price everywhere, except you get an extra $50 gift card here. So essentially equating the price down to $200, available over at Target. This is the Xbox Series S, 512 gigabytes storage. It doesn't come with any games or combos. If you're gonna buy a game console, you might want to wait till later this week. There's typically good Black Friday deals, but again, it's just kind of a hit or miss thing with supplies. So just keep an eye out on that. Next up, keeping it in the Apple family, here's the Apple Watch Series 8. This is the latest generation Apple Watch. This is the 45 millimeters. This is the larger watch for a guy, or and they also sell the 41 or 40 millimeter, which is typically for the ones that the females flock to. This is on sale over at Best Buy, part of their Black Friday deals that they're offering. It's normally $429 and it's on sale for $379. So save $40-50 on that over at Walmart. Excuse me, this is on Walmart, not Best Buy. This is available over at Walmart. It's, from what I understand, available in store and online. At least that's what the description looks like. So you could add this to your cart and go pick it up today over at Walmart. Next up, back to Best Buy. How about this? Katie, I know you got a new house. You got plenty of extra room you're trying to fill. How about a standing Ridge Racer arcade cabinet? This is a racing game cabinet. This is a hell of a deal. This cabinet is normally $700. It's on sale for just $299. Nothing's better than having something like this in your living room when people come over,
So
and
this
they can
is
hop right
full
on it and play some
height.
Ridge Rider.
This is full
Yeah.
height. This is not
Correct.
on top of the counter.
No, well, no, it's a no. I mean, then you have to stand on top of
Yeah.
the counter. The foot,
Yeah.
the foot pedals at the bottom. So
Right.
this is it's a standing racing arcade cabinet. Really good deal on this, and it's available over at Best Buy, in store and online. Funny enough, if your store has it in stock, there's one here in Wilmington, so you could have it and set it up today and be on your way racing. Next up, this might be the deal of the week. Maybe I need to get a little, need to put like a little star every special, and we'll just keep track of what the deal of the week is. Here's a Logitech G435 headset. This is a Bluetooth wireless gaming headset. It also supports Lightspeed, which is Logitech's low latency wireless technology that they use for their wireless mouses and their wireless keyboards. So you can plug it into your computer with a USB dongle, or connect it to a laptop or any other device that's got Bluetooth. You can switch between devices, which is cool. So you can switch between a desktop or a laptop or a phone by just pressing the button on the headset. It's got a microphone built into it, 18 hours of charge life on it. This is normally an $80 headset. It's on sale for just $29.99. So this will work with your Xbox and your PlayStation, your Nintendo Switch. This will pretty much connect to any device that supports Bluetooth audio, which is pretty much any major device except for the Roku for some odd reason. Check this out over at Amazon. This is probably the best deal. This is the best deal you'll find for something like this available there. Next up, lots of folks buying new TVs around Black Friday, getting ready for the big Thanksgiving big Thanksgiving football games. Those cheap televisions have awful sound systems. So here's what you do: you purchase something like this, which is the Vizio V Series 5.1 home theater soundbar that is supports ARC, so you can use it essentially HDMI pass through for audio, which is really cool. This thing comes with the main unit that sits on your TV stand or mounts below your TV, your sound bar. And then it comes with 2 remote speakers and a pretty large subwoofer. It's an 8x7-inch subwoofer, so it's not the largest one in the world, but it's a decent sized subwoofer. You get some good sound from it. This supports Dolby Digital, supports 4K pass through if you're going to use ARC. 6 speakers in total compared to all of the ones that are built into the sound bar. And it also supports Bluetooth and stuff like that as well, so you can connect your phone and jam out if you're not watching television. This is normally $219. You can get it for just $148 over at Walmart, in-store and online for that as well. And then finally, if you are a video gamer and are looking to get into the PC, trying to join over to the PC Master Race, as it's called, you might want to slowly wean yourself off of the controller. And here is a Microsoft Xbox wireless controller plus wireless adapter kit, normally $80 over at Amazon. It's on sale for just $40, so half price, available over at Amazon. And with that, you can get back to gaming on PC and slowly wean yourself off and get back to get to keyboard and mouse, which is the superior way to play any video game. So that is specials for this ahead of Black Friday edition. And throughout the week, this week, keep an eye on Slick Deals. Slickdeals.net is going to be your place to be this week. I'm not sure what we'll do. Not sure what we'll do Sunday. Not sure. Yeah, I'll have to. We'll just have to see what's available. Maybe we'll look at what was on sale. I'm not sure. It'll just depend on what's still in stock.
Yeah, they're going to have a bunch left.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it'll depend on stock and everything.
Wait, isn't Cyber Monday a thing? Right?
It is.
Yeah. So you do
The problem with
Monday.
Cyber Monday and some of these other things, and we were talking about this in the pre-show, is in years past, they used to release sale flyers, and you'd have a list of the things that were going to be on sale. Now they don't do that. So you just go to the site on the day of, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on sale. So it's a little hard to preemptively do it. But yeah, hopefully some of these retailers will list the things that are going to be on sale on Cyber Monday. And then if that's the case, then yes, Katie, that's a great idea.
Actually,
so
hopefully, because it is online, they can update it anytime they want, and maybe they will have true information that you can't see in a paper. Okay, we're out
on the
of
flip
this.
side,
We're out of
they
that.
also don't put their listing up there because they want to make people buy it when they think it's on sale. So there was a whole bunch of stuff on Slick Deals right now that is stuff that goes on sale tomorrow. There was a bunch of TV deals that all start on Monday. So just keep an eye on that this week. There's a couple of good Twitter. Slick Deals has got a Twitter account as well that's worth following. They'll post the really extraordinary deals there. So yep, that's specials for this Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir.
And I was looking while you were doing the special. I was looking at your shot that you capture, and what is that black thing?
It's my monitor.
Okay, that's what I was saying. That's not his curtain. Yeah.
No,
All
it's
right.
my monitor.
So, for the Mac users, for iOS, for Elastic Labs has found, surprisingly, that 50% of malware comes from one app, MacKeeper. That's MacKeeper, MacKeeper. Ironically, ironic in that MacKeeper claims to keep your Mac clean and safe with zero efforts, MacKeeper also has a tainted reputation for being difficult to completely uninstall and as a malicious antivirus. So if you have an iPhone that has MacKeeper on it, be aware. I mean, they say 50% of malware comes from one app, MacKeeper.
It doesn't
That's
matter what the platform is.
I don't
If it
I'm
claims to clean
assuming
up your platform, it's fake.
well, I'm
CCleaner. It was on Android. There's tons of these crap cleaners.
yeah,
Yeah, stick with the OS.
yeah, this is for Apple stuff. I mean, for Mac. I mean,
Yeah,
it's amazing that they will that something like this will actually have a problem. I mean, and
that's what
the
I'm saying.
name
It's not
is
amazing.
amazing.
It's I'm not. That's why I'm saying it's not amazing. Every single platform, it's the same thing.
Well, yeah, but when it comes to Apple, we don't expect these, right?
Uh, I don't know why you won't expect this. An Apple is exactly the same like any other platform, especially today, right? They might have been something special before the internet days, before
Yeah.
things were interconnected, but it's like nothing is different.
And those of you on Facebook, so Meta has confirmed that it's removing addresses interested in political views and religion from Facebook profiles as of December 1st. The move is meant to make Facebook easier to navigate and use. A spokesperson told TechCrunch. If you filled out any of these fields, you'll get a notification about the change. Other details you provide, such as your contact information and relationship status, will persist. You can download a copy of your Facebook data before December 1st if you're determined to preserve it. And if you still have control over who can see the remaining profile content. So they're going to remove addresses, I guess what I'm interested in, political views and religion from your profile. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you were saying that, and
No,
I was like, I don't care.
Yep.
I don't think the platform is relevant in any way, shape, or form. So it's
No.
gonna stay used by the people who use it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I don't think it's relevant anymore. It's not like nothing is really changing about that platform. And as long as it's going to be
Except its
part of
name.
Meta,
Its name changed.
well, it's still Facebook. The platform itself is still Facebook.
Oh,
Meta is the
that's right.
owner,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah. That's
you
right.
still go to Google, even though
Yeah,
it's owned by
yeah,
Alphabet,
yeah.
right?
It's
It's
true.
so
True. Keep going.
yeah. No, it's I mean, a lot of people are using it. Still, I don't think it's relevant, right? It's there. People are using it. It's not important. That's
Yeah.
my reaction to it. I might be, you know, I might be downplaying its
No, you're not
Nah.
importance,
wrong. It doesn't
but
matter.
that's my feeling, right? It's like, yeah,
All right. Here is something that we need some input from you guys. One Password has announced that passkey support will be available to its customers in early 2023, allowing
yes.
users to securely log into apps and websites without a password. Passkeys are a passwordless login technology developed by the FIDO Alliance. Oh, really?
Oh, okay,
Whose
Fido.
whose members include most of the big tech companies. The technology allows users to replace traditional passwords with their device's own authentication, such as an iPhone with Face ID offering greater security and protection since there is no password to steal or accidentally hand over via a phishing attack. 1Password claims its own variation called Universal Sign On will be superior to others by supporting multiple platforms and cross platforms syncing when it launches next year. By contrast, passkey support through companies like Apple is only built to seamlessly synchronize access on devices within the same ecosystem. A live demonstration of how passkeys will work is available for 1Password users using the latest version of its Chrome browser extension, alongside a video demo of what blah 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 blah. 1Password will bring full support for passkeys to its browser extension and desktop apps in early 2023, with mobile support to follow. So, like right now, I notice some websites like Home Depot, I think, and maybe Walmart. I don't remember. Some of them say log in without a password on the
Yeah, they
site.
send you a link to your email and you click it.
Is
It's not this.
I understand, but it's passwordless. That's why it's
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's
not,
part
though.
of the buzzword of passwordless, but
Yeah.
that's just a different way of second factor authentication or something like that, two-factor
So
authentication.
But some of these places also log in without a password. It just it authenticates through your Gmail account, and that is the same thing. You don't have an account on that site, but you still have a password on Gmail. Same thing if you log in with Twitter or Facebook, you still have a password there. You're
yeah,
just using that as a single sign on. So it's a little bit misleading.
It's yeah. So this is a very confusing playground right now. Passwordless is a concept that says there is a better method than passwords to log in, right? This general amorphic buzzword. Inside that buzzword, there's a lot of different technologies. One of them, by the way, most of us use on Windows. It's the login process on Windows 10 and 11 is called Windows Hello, I think. Or, yeah, Windows Hello. That is a passwordless attempt. Windows Hello can allow you to log in with a password, of course, but you can add additional layers. There's a PIN which encrypts the password locally. Using the PIN, you unencrypt the password, you log in. There are other methods like a secret key, those that go by the FIDO standard and all that, USB keys where you plug them in when they're inside, when they're hooked up to the USB, then they contain an encrypted key that decrypts the local password, etc. Right? All of this is an attempt. There is an understanding that just username password is not enough, and it's not as effective as other methods, and it's not convenient. Right now, 1Password is trying. There's one interesting aspect in 1Password announcement is if you are going to connect to a site that might support this technology that they are coining passkey, right? Then if it is in your vault, it'll be able to authenticate without. Right now, what it does, it enters a username and password, right? Keeps your username and password. You go to the website, it detects the website, it sees the username password field, it fills them up. But that means that there is a communication of the username and password from the vault outside. Anything that's listening in between might capture that. The passkey idea is like Nick mentioned, when you go and log in with Google, the only party that knows your credentials is Google. And it's not passing credentials, it is passing an authorization. Google telling that site, I know who this person is this and this, I've identified them. So, and that part, that conversation is a lot harder to fake because it is happening in real time and it is happening with a known party. That known party is Google, right? So passkey is an attempt here, from what I understand. It's technology that's very similar to that. It's just you're gonna manage everything in your vault. I have a problem with that because it means that all of your identity, right? The same problem I have with login with Google. All of your identity is going to be tied to that one password account, and it's not on your machine, right? It is handled by a third party that you need to completely trust. That is my major qualm with all of this. The technology is amazing. The implementation can be hacked because it'll make one password a very, very lucrative target for attack.
Yeah.
Right? That's my problem. If you had it on your own safe, in your own machine, it's only on your devices, and the software deals with the security, right? Then I would say that is a much better solution than you giving complete trust to a third party server, right? That is run by somebody else. So it's interesting. I will never use it. Is it better than what you're using today? Probably, right? But keep in mind, you have to completely trust one password to keep safe your secrets. And I'm not sure I am comfortable with that.
Yeah. There's always more to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The technology is amazing. Don't
I
get me wrong.
um there is there's a show. It's not that new. It's called Covert Affairs, something like that, on TV series. And in one of those episodes, they were trying to get into a guy's account to see what he was doing with a lot of money, and the only way to get in was he had a fob that the password will change every 30 seconds, and they had to put their hands on that. And I remember Spence, we talked about it. Spence used to have it back in the 80s, no, 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, RSA used to make them.
Yeah, to
They
get
still make
into
them, by the way. Yeah.
that sounds like a real nice solution until somebody gets a hold of it.
Yeah, but keep in mind, right? That's two-factor authentication that exists today. Your the Google Authenticator or Authy,
Yeah,
right? Uh, that's exactly what they do. Once you exchange the secret and you get, I I I use it at work. I use it at all. I have for each account that is important,
important.
right? I have on top of the username password, I have this secret that changes every 30 seconds. And only the devices who got synced on the day of the exchange, right? They are the only ones who know how to sync that secret. So if I don't have my phone with me, right, where I see that secret update, I can't log in, even though
Oh,
I do remember my username and password. That's what multi-factor authentication means. It means one factor
yeah.
is your username password, and the other is something that you have. right? It can be a fob that you touch, or it can be a rotating number.
That's right. It is.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
what multi-factor authentication.
Unless,
That
what
was the
did we
first
say?
implementation of that.
Didn't we say that it's easy to fake, not to fake, but to hijack your phone number, and then if
Yeah, but it
some
has nothing to do with the phone number. It's not sending something to the phone. I can be completely offline and it'll work. It's just the phone is the application that's synced at the first moment. It's time based and it's math based. You need to know the initial secret in order to know how to calculate it. You
okay,
can replicate it. It's not unreplicatable, right?
but
Those
it's
fobs can be replicated as well. If you every fob like that has a serial number. That serial number is tied to a secret in some server, right? So it's just
it, it's a
it's a
step.
bit like quantum entanglement, which has been in the news a lot lately, right? It's and the way to explain it is if you have a pair of socks, right? Once you separate them, there's still a pair of socks. It's just one sock. The one sock is in this part of the house, and the other sock is in that
Yeah,
part of the house, right? So uh, eh, they keep the secret. It's just there's something unique about them that keeps them and tied one to another. So they're exactly the same all the time. Um,
well,
that's the whole idea.
yeah.
It's the secret that is
Talking
kept in.
talking about the MFA factor. There's an article here from Microsoft. It says that Microsoft has outlined several mitigations to protect against attacks on multi-factor authentication that will unfortunately make life more difficult for your remote workers. 3 years ago, attacks on multi-factor authentication, or MFA, were so rare that Microsoft didn't have decent statistics on them, largely because few organizations had enabled MFA. But with MFA use rising as attacks on passwords become more common, Microsoft has seen an increase in attacks using token theft in their attempts to sidestep MFA. In these attacks, the attacker compromises a token issued to someone who's already completed MFA and replays that token to gain access from a different device. Tokens are central to OAuth 2.0 identity platforms, including Azure, Active Directory, which aims to make authentication simpler and faster for users, but in a way that's still resilient to password attacks. Moreover, Microsoft warns that token theft is dangerous because it doesn't require high technical skills. Detection is difficult, and because the technique has only recently seen an uptick, few organizations have mitigations in place. So apparently, there is a way to steal a token.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said a moment ago.
Yeah.
Literally,
So,
yeah.
and you don't need to be really highly technical to do that, they're saying. But they
I
said
mean,
it seems like and if they outlined it, then they will probably fix it on their side. But
so what they mean by not needing to be highly technical is the only way to gain that is
yeah,
not a technical way. It is only by social engineering. It's by tricking someone to use a token of their fashioning, or being listening to the token exchange, right?
right.
Being there while the token is exchanged. So yes, the moment you get the token, right, doesn't need to be a technical way of getting it. There's no technical hack here, which is a good thing. It means it is impervious to a technical attack, right? But the weak point, as always, with any secret, is the human.
Is the human. Yeah.
Right. And so there, yeah, it's just a long way of saying, be aware, never give your token away if you have access to the token. What some of these authenticator applications do is they only allow access to that token for the first time, and after that they never show it again. You'll need to delete it and replace it with a new one if you want to update it. So that's part of the process. But then again, there are those who allow editing and changing. So it all depends on what you're using and how.
All right.
As always, with security, it's about trust and education. There's no other way of actually securing something without understanding the trust, how it works, and educating your people on how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Like everything
no
else.
other method.
Yep. All right, we were talking about Nvidia. A frustrated owner of an RTX 4090 graphics card suffering from the infamous melty power connector problem has filed a class action suit against Nvidia. Filed in California court on November 11th, the suit may make for painful reading for Nvidia and include numerous allegations from fraud to unjust enrichment. The case refers to widely reported instances of the new style 16-pin power connector used by NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 board, overheating and melting under heavy load. Reportedly, the lawsuit claims that NVIDIA sold RTX 4090s with defective and dangerous power cable plug and sockets. Now, does that mean that they are selling the card with the cables? I thought the cables were part of the power supply.
No, it's an adapter
Okay.
because
So
they've
they
got
do.
some weird, like,
Okay.
17 pin thing. So it's
Yeah, 16.
you plug
Yeah.
it into the power, you plug it into the graphics card, and then on the opposite side, you've got 4 leads that come off of it that yes, connect to your power supply cables.
Okay.
But there's an adapter that connects it to your GPU.
So it claims that RTX sold them with faulty cables, which has
Yeah.
rendered consumers' cards inoperable and poses a serious electrical and fire hazard for each and every purchaser. It's notable that the claimant, one Lucas Genova, described himself as an experience in the installation of computer componentry like
Oh,
graphics
wow.
card, thereby aiming
hot
to
shot.
head
Holy
off
moly.
implication of user error at best.
Nerd.
So, did you guys hear anything else? Did you read anything else?
No,
About-
the internet is filled with people complaining about it.
Not since we covered it
Okay, yeah,
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Pretty
I'm a
much
big
been the same
surprise.
since
The
then.
company chipped out on a cable and is now being screwed by it.
well, that's what part of the
What else is
article
new?
that I did not keep here is they say when you pay that much for this card, you expect a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, and it's still from
So-
I will admit I'm not as up to date to it. I'm not as up to date as I was like maybe a week or two ago on it, but from what I understood about watching the coverage and looking at it, that there was still some questions as to what exactly was causing the problem.
Right.
Was it gauge of wire? Was it a short? Was it cold solder joints? There was still a lot of questions and a lot of replications of trying to replicate this. How you troubleshoot something is replacing or replicating the problem, duplicating it, and then figuring out how to fix it. And there's still been some questions as to how exactly you replicate this melting problem because it's not every single card.
Right. Right.
So that's been kind of the tough part of it.
We'll see what comes out of it, but it's interesting. So there's a class action.
Well, and then these class actions have been successful in the
Yeah.
past. I mean, I was going through my I have a paper box full of documents and stuff, and I went through it a couple of weekends ago and threw out a bunch of old stuff. And I kept my check, my $27 check from AMD. I was part of some class action lawsuit in them again in like 2015, and I got a check for like 26, $27 or something.
No, nice.
Let me ask you this: if you have used those $24 to buy AMD stock, would it be worth more now?
At the time, yeah, you would have made a fortune because I sold all my AMD stock like a jackass at like $26. And it ended up being like, it ended up skyrocketing. Yeah. I made a fool of myself on that.
Well, you can't win them all, Nick.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I bought Tesla stock at $2. So I'm a big investor in FXT or FTX.
Oh, man.
Yes. All right. Privacy-focused search site DuckDuckGo has added yet another way to prevent more of your data from going to advertisers, opening its app tracking protection for Android to beta testers. DuckDuckGo is positioning app tracking protection as something like Apple's app tracking transparency for iOS devices, but even more powerful, enabling the service in the DuckDuckGo app for Android under the More from DuckDuckGo section, installs a local VPN service on your phone, which can then start automatically blocking trackers on DuckDuckGo's public block list. DuckDuckGo says this happens without sending app data to DuckDuckGo or other remote servers. It's this guy does this, then the next one will do something better, and then the other one does still something better, and the user is the winner here. That sounds good.
It sounds good. I mean, the one thing I applaud DuckDuckGo still is, and I hope they will never be proven wrong, right? They keep claiming that they're not collecting and profiling
Yeah.
using that data.
Right.
And I really hope that's true. If that's the case, yeah, keep on the good work.
Absolutely.
I mean, be cautious, right? Just because you're using that, don't do anything stupid. But yeah, I keep it on.
Yep. Keep
The
on
fact
keeping
that
them.
a company like that exists and they have proven to be able to make money, right, and succeed without those practices that rub us in the wrong way,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, keep it on.
Yep. We'll find out. I mean, we may find out that they were doing the same thing.
Hopefully,
Hopefully
we
not.
never find out
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That,
Yeah.
that this isn't the truth, right? That what they are claiming is what's happening. But
Hopefully, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
It requires
Netflix.
trust,
Netflix.
as we said. What's that? That's a small service, right?
Netflix has introduced a new account management page called Manage Access and Devices that gives users the ability to remove access privileges from specific devices. I'm wondering if that thing is coming on because they're finding out that it's going to be hard to enforce that, how many people can use an account or whatever. Listen to this. The feature is available on the web and in the streaming service Android and iOS apps. Previously, users could see a list of devices that had recently accessed their accounts, and they could revoke access to all devices simultaneously. But they could not revoke access on a case-by-case basis. Each item in the list of devices will include an IP address, address-based location, a device type, and the user profile that most recently accessed Netflix from that device. Netflix describes it as a security feature in that in that it's useful to users who don't share their passwords at all. For example, you now have a way to clean up after yourself if you stayed at an Airbnb and signed into your Netflix account on a smart TV there, but forgot to sign out before you left. Further, the page could help you identify if someone has gained access to your account via a compromised password. That's what they say, but
No, no. I completely agree with everything that you said right now, and I'll explain.
Okay.
This is a feature that should have been there from the start.
From the start, yeah.
Yes.
Right? Because and this is a feature that benefits me as a user. Now, they need that in order to battle multi-account sharing, account sharing, and all that, because this is the only way you can come to me as a user and ask me, what is going on here? What is going on here? And this allows me at least plausible ignorance, right? And
Deniability.
saying, I'm not sure, but I can kick that out, right? At least allow me to clean up and preserve a certain state. What they're describing before was unrealistic, right? The amount of account sharing, as if it was the reason they are losing money.
Yeah.
But if they do not allow me, right, to log off properly after I left the location, and I have 30 different locations because I'm a traveling person, right, a professional, then it's on you, not on me. So this is a way of gaining control, and finally, it's happening. So it's a good thing.
It is a good
It's
thing.
a win-win. It is a win-win here. I don't see it as anything. Yes, is it part of the tactics on battling multi-account account sharing? Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. It's clear, but this should have been there from the start. It's like it's a no-brainer.
Yep. I always was wondering, and it may be a user error, when you log into your router, you can see connected devices.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a way to disconnect one. If you say, hey, I don't recognize this, kill it.
Well, you can filter out the MAC. You can do MAC filtering. It's all based on MAC address. You can add MAC filtering and say I'll only allow these and these Macs, or I do not allow these and these Macs.
Yeah, but when you go in and you see the list and you go, yeah, this.
Yeah, there are routers that makes it a point and click from that display, but usually you'll need to copy the Mac, need to go to another place. Yeah, but it's possible. Yeah.
Okay.
No, so a lot like Linksys, I know, or Linksys, they've got their UI is very easy, and that's part of their UI what they allow.
Okay, that's good.
Right. So it depends on the router. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like depends on the UI.
All right, and if you are using Windows 10, and chances are you are because you're part of the big group, Microsoft has fixed yet another problem in some versions of Windows 10, a bug that makes the taskbar and desktop temporarily vanish or causes the system to ignore you. According to Redmond, users might experience an error in which the desktop or taskbar might momentarily disappear, or your device might become unresponsive. The issue affects PCs running Windows 10, 22H2, 21H2, 21H1, and 20H2. The company wrote on its Windows Health dashboard. Microsoft didn't outline the exact cause, but notes it was related to this huge number, cumulative update, and later. The software giant is using its known issue rollback feature, which enables IT administrators to roll back the unwanted changes of an update. To resolve the problem, adding that it could take up to 24 hours for the fix to reach non-managed business systems and consumer devices. Restarting the device may accelerate the time frame. Organizations that use enterprise managed devices can install and configure a special group policy by going to computer configuration and then administrative templates and group policy name. If the resolution doesn't work, users can try restarting the Windows device, according to Microsoft. The latest fix comes after a number of other problems were resolved this week. The first when I read this, I thought, yeah, every now and then I see my desktop just disappears. But then it's because I remember it's because the mouse goes down on a certain space on the task bar and it makes everything go away. So this is interesting. I don't know if you want to do it manually. I think should wait, but yeah, the number is here, the KB update that you can reverse or roll back from. Did any of you guys saw this?
Never experienced it. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Never.
I
Well-
have some problems with Windows 10 taskbar and it getting stuck and this, that, and the other thing. I always have to restart it.
What do you mean getting stuck?
Katie, you're just using it wrong. That's all.
It just gets stuck. It doesn't disappear. And then it's
Freezes.
frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating because I use, After Effects or Photoshop. And of course, they've got buttons all the way on the bottom of the screen that I have to hit. But then the taskbar covers it. And so then I have to restart it. Not the computer.
Move the taskbar to the top.
No, absolutely not. I tried to move my taskbar anywhere but the bottom, and instantly I hated it, and I couldn't use my computer.
Oh no, I use it on the right side.
No, absolutely not. What
It's
I
simple.
needed, no, what I
It's
needed to do.
mathematically sound.
No,
The
well, yeah,
screen
maybe
is wider than it's taller.
you're right.
let me-
you're
let-
right.
Let me
But
go ahead.
I just needed to be gone completely.
Let me tell
because-
You can hide it.
I know I do. I do hide it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I
No,
hide
but that's
it.
the
But
problem.
then it pops up and it stays.
You're
and
right.
It, like, glitches.
You're right.
So let me
And
ask you a question. Why do you
Okay,
then
I
don't
can
hide
explain
it?
what's happening. Hold on. I can explain why it's
I can explain.
showing up and you can't let it out. So when it pops up, when an application has some update, right? Something is updated on it, then it'll show up in Flash, right? And then it'll be highlighted. Only after you click that, only after you acknowledge that,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
when the taskbar will go back and disappear. The reason I know this, supporting multiple systems remotely in the past, right? I would be on an RDP session, right? And then the user's desktop taskbar will cover the taskbar of the RDP session. And so the only way to make that front taskbar go away is to actually switch to the application that is pulling the attention of the taskbar, and only then you can go back and it'll disappear.
I know you're not wrong, but I'm saying it doesn't do that. I'm saying that normally, yes, it does that. When something happens, I click on it and eventually it goes away. I'm saying it doesn't. I can close everything on my screen and so that
And it's
nothing's
still
on the
stuck?
taskbar and it still gets stuck. Like it just breaks all the time. And
Um,
I'm sure it's something wrong with my computer, but I'm like,
No,
whatever.
let me tell you that happens to me every now and then, but the other way around. I'll pull the cursor all the way down and the taskbar doesn't come up.
I have that happen too.
And
Why are you
found-
guys hiding your taskbar in the
I-
first place? What's the reason for it?
I need the pixel space.
real estate?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, from Katie, I understand. For you, Aaron, I don't.
Well,
And pull it to the side.
but let me tell you what I found out doing.
Get a second monitor
We'll
and
fix
just
it.
make it your taskbar monitor.
I have I have 3 monitors, and so I am running all kinds of crap on my
Now, hold
computer at
on.
the same
Now, if
time.
you have 3 monitors, hold on. Now, this is a solution. If you're using one primary monitor for Photoshop or After Effects or whatever you're doing or Premiere, Just you can make it so that the taskbar doesn't display on that screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
But
then because you're not using all 3 screens with
no,
3 different
no,
applications at the same time.
I am not. But what I am doing is I'm using my main monitor, the one that I work, is
Mhm.
is the way I have 3 monitors. The one in the center is my main monitor, and everything else is just supporting what I'm doing in the middle. So I want the taskbar in the middle because I have to switch between blah blah blah, this, that, and other
Mm.
thing. And then but that's where it gets locked. Ideally, I should probably move the taskbar to the left or the right monitor, but I don't want it to do that. Basically, what I
Okay,
wanted to do is I want it to function how it's supposed to and not break. See, I shouldn't have to work
You're
around
right.
the issues. This is the problem. I don't
that's
want to
right.
compromise, but I found an
Oh,
easy solution. All I have to do is open up the task manager, restart the Windows, whatever, and it works.
Explorer. Yeah.
let
Or
me
Yeah.
yeah.
let me tell you what I found out that works for me to make it functional again.
Run Windows 7.
Do Alt Tab, go to another uh, application,
Application.
and Alt Tab again. And when it comes up, the Alt Tab again to go to the one that you're using, and everything works fine.
Hmm.
It's like switching out and back in. Makes it work. I don't know if that's the same problem. Like I said, mine will not show itself.
Mhm.
Yours just wants to stay there.
Mine does all kinds of crazy
Yeah.
stuff,
So
and
try.
it's
Well,
also I also learned that Windows thing. What did you call it, Nick? I don't remember.
Explorer.
Windows Explorer. Um, my Windows Explorer will freeze, and then sometimes the wallpaper will turn black, and all I
yeah.
have to do is restart it, and everything's fine. So I'm pretty sure my computer is like 2 shakes away from like exploding, but for now I
No, I
have
bet
a
you that's what I was gonna ask you. How old is your Windows install?
I don't know,
Years
10
and
years
years.
old. No, it's a Windows
Okay.
10, so whatever. It's
Yeah,
just
but was
old.
it upgraded from something?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. It was Windows 7, and then it was Windows 10, and now I can't
Oh,
upgrade
wait a
to Windows.
second.
I
Yes, that's
can't
true.
upgrade to Windows 11 because it says it doesn't support my machine.
So
Right.
what
First
could
of
be
all, you
happening?
can.
Well, you can, but what you're describing here, I think, is unfortunately some of the kind of weird glitches and bugs when you're talking about your it sounds like you're having problems with your Explorer crashing, which is
Yeah.
the taskbar, is the desktop, is the window where you do your file managers. That sounds like you've got a pretend maybe a couple of files corrupted in your Windows install.
Probably.
So you could either repair it, or you've talked multiple times about how you're on the fence of a new computer anyway. So
Yeah, it's not a. I mean, it's a.
these problems solve themselves with a clean install of Windows 95% of the time.
Yeah, it's annoying, but like I said, I have a solution. I just have to restart it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a Stream Deck?
No.
No. I was going to say, if you had a Stream Deck or something, you like Stream Deck's the little screen thing with the buttons on it. You should get one. You'd love that with
I
with
know.
all your content creation stuff. Get
Yeah,
one of those, and you
I've
can
been
set up
thinking about it.
a hotkey that will restart your Explorer. You just press the button and it'll restart Explorer.
Yeah, I need one of
There
those.
was a Slack deal of a MIDI controller with
That would work too.
8 on 8. It was like for $100. I almost bought it. I just couldn't figure out what to do. I was
I've got
wanting
a MIDI
to hook
controller.
it up to the smart home in
Oh.
some way. It's just like
Where
a
would you
cool
connect
control
them?
panel.
Where would you connect a MIDI
It's
device?
USB.
Oh, so it is USB. Okay.
It's USB MIDI controller. So you
There's
connect it
no
to a
computer has a
computer.
MIDI. Nothing has a
I
MIDI
know.
interface anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
The device you gave me, I'm on the Korg Nano controller. That's a MIDI controller,
Yeah, that's true.
but
And it's USB. Yeah,
Hmm? Yeah.
that's right.
I
That's right.
have one. I use it for voice meter, Gall, to control. Since it's got faders on it, I use it as my
Yeah.
voice meter control surface, and then I use my Stream Deck.
Well, when Stream Deck / Media whatever comes on sale, I'll buy one.
All right, I'll send you.
Oh,
A link.
it's not expensive. You can buy the
Yeah, but don't
the smaller
don't
one.
buy it now. Wait, there'll be a sale in the next probably week on it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm done. We gotta get these sales, man.
Black Friday. Cyber Monday and Christmas.
Yeah. All
Some of the
right.
sales, though, I tell you, like a mouse pad for $25 instead of 50. Come on, people.
I'm still using the
Yeah.
free mouse pad from a company.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't have it. I thought I had the smaller Stream Deck here that I bought first, and then it wasn't enough buttons, so I bought the more. I
I
need to
want
look.
maximum buttons. I want
No, you
my
don't.
setup. No, yes, I do. I want my setup to look like I'm in the NASA control center,
Oh,
even
okay.
though my computer is on a foldable outdoor table.
Yeah, okay. We need to get Katie a 32 channel um
Yes.
Audio mixer.
I want to live in the future. And
I have my 2442 USB that I don't use anymore in the closet. I'll bring that up. I have a
Perfect.
24 channel sound mixer.
Yeah,
no,
I'm not
that's
sure
small.
your
That's too
foldable
small.
table, though, will hold it. So
I don't know. This
that
is a
is
heavy duty
that is
table.
small. I'm talking about one of those Yamaha that's about 8 foot wide.
Well, if it's one of the folding tables that the Buffalo Bills fans use when they jump off the roof of their cars at football games, it'll be fine. I mean, these are grown ass 300-pound men belly flopping on tables and they
Yeah.
last. So I
Here's
think
here's
he
the
was doing it.
question though. The next expansion of World of Warcraft comes out soon. Can I hook up the Stream Deck to my macros for World of Warcraft?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sold. Perfect. Okay, somebody find me a deal. I need to buy one
Alright.
of these.
I think so. I'll verify, but yes.
I don't see why
You
not.
might need an
Well,
additional
it depends on
another piece of software that'll do it.
Yeah.
But
Well, let me
I'm
look
sure it's
real
possible.
quick because
And it better
there's
not get me banned. Because I gotta
well,
do those.
macros don't get you banned in WoW. That's part of the WoW.
Well, yeah,
If you're
yeah.
looking for like an auto clicker, that will get you banned.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. These things like people do some shenanigans, and Blizzard's like, nah.
Yeah, Blizzard is not the well, Activision is not the most forgiving of companies.
Yeah. Plus, I want to play a dragon. I get dragon this expansions. They're pretty cool.
Let's see. You said World.
Oh,
No, there's no plugins for it, so maybe it just works by default.
I'm sure because you can do hotkeys in the game,
Yeah.
and hook them up. But I'll get a fancy deck with a bunch of buttons.
if there
Hell,
are
maybe
no
I'll get a foot pedal. That'd be cool.
wait a
They
second.
sell USB ones for like $15.
Foot pedals?
Yeah, I almost bought one a couple years ago.
Oh man, it'd be like I'd have like a guitar setup. You know how those street performers have the pedals with the things and blah blah. Except mine's just playing video games, and they're like, "Oh, you playing a race game?" I'm like, "No." I'm
As
playing World of
crazy as that
Warcraft."
sounds, that is the that I'm sure that is a very common thing, unfortunately.
Right? Nice.
And-
Anyways, talk about something else. We don't need to keep talking about World of Warcraft.
all
No,
right.
the Stream Deck is a really cool device. I just found it. There's a Home Assistant add-on. I don't know what it does. Controls your Home Assistant entities with the Stream Deck. I wonder what this does.
Wonder if Katie could use that X key.
Yeah, probably. Oh, you
Are
can
you
use it. Oh, this is cool.
are you
So
looking
this-
at the brand Elgato?
Yes, yeah.
That's
Okay.
what. Yeah.
Dang, these look fancy.
That's what I'm using here, Katie. You saw it. That's how I switch between.
Wow, that's cool.
Anyhow,
Anywho,
it's time of day. Anything else anybody wants to add? To bring up? Going once?
nah.
Have
No.
a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
enjoy food, uh,
And
over
family,
stuff.
and
Yep,
family,
yep.
and
No,
friends.
family, whatever. It's the food that matters.
It's the generation gap here.
Enjoy the generation gap.
Yeah.
Enjoy all the
Uh,
great political conversations that will be unfolding across in tables across the United States. Those are always really lively.
yeah, Nick, I was just, I should have mentioned that. Nick was up here on Friday. He came to do the front row show on PBS, and I watched it later on. That was a good show. I mean, the format completely changed because it was like you guys asking the what is he, the
Well, our
treasurer?
guest was the treasurer, so we had like kind of a somebody that can answer questions. Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty good.
it was all right.
I don't know.
I'll be back not this Friday, but next Friday.
Oh yeah. So, Gal, if you're available, let's kind of get together.
Sunday, yeah, I'm here.
No, no, no.
What?
He comes on Friday. He doesn't spend the weekend. He comes and goes back home. So
Okay.
after the show, he dropped by here for about an hour and then he left.
Yeah, I'm a personality, so I can't stay anywhere
Celebrity, a celebrity.
too long. Correct.
All right. Thanks, guys. It was great. And I especially appreciate the fact that Katie woke up in time to be on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome. I am not a morning person.
It's not morning, Katie. It's 11 o'clock.
Anything before noon, before I
Okay,
eat
but hold on a second.
lunch, is a
Hold on a
morning.
second. You had a full-time job. What time did you go to work?
Listen, I went to work in the morning. My brain just didn't function until
Oh.
after I had lunch.
Jesus.
Listen, it is the weekend. My brain activity is saved for the weekday. The weekend, I completely check out mentally and physically.
Yeah, and she knew that. She knew that. But I mean, I had to beg her and plead and all that so she'll join the show. And she
Well,
finally
when
broke down.
Adnan told me that I didn't have to drive to his place to be on the show, I could do it from home. I was like, I'm sold. I can do
Yeah, well,
that.
I used to have to drive up there every Sunday morning. It was a real pain.
Are you serious?
No, no.
Oh.
And that's when he lived in New York.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I had to leave Saturday afternoon to make it down there in time, and I didn't trust the internet. So
Well, stranger danger. Just you got to be cautious in these trying times.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Gal, Nick, Katie, and everybody else. Again, yeah, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the company and the food. Don't spend money that you don't have, though.
too late.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Dana, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thank you for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM, or 107.9 FM and 980 The Wave. And you can listen to it on your Echo device. Tell it, play 980 The Wave. That's what I do. Recordings, you can go back, are at nickcraig.com. And Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Nick and Brian do the Infection Podcast, a survival game podcast on Twitch. Gaming, news, etc. So 7 p.m. Tuesdays, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. One word. Have a great week ahead of you, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.